Cowboy Jim. I I'm sorry. I just have to do one more horse one. Okay. I mean, I have a lot of them, and I think people will believe in this next two little short stories. I always had Arabian horses, Arabian mixed with quarter horse usually. Arabian because it was kind of like a thoroughbred, hot-blooded horse, and mixed with a slower, what is called a cold-blooded horse. That's a cold-blooded horse is a draft horse. Well, a quarter horse isn't too far off that, but it's off it. I mean, it's a bit hotter than a plow horse, and I am trying to remember if Dad and my Uncle D, my cousin Glenn, he's the cowboy. That boy, he could have gone in the Calgary Stampede if he hadn't been working so hard, and he would have won everything. There's just no doubt. I don't know about roping. I do know he could sure ride a bucking horse. Unbelievable. One of the reasons I really like the Arab type horses was they were sociable, and in the morning when I'd get up and step outside the tent, well, my horses were usually standing there, and this particular morning, well, they were nowhere to be seen, and I thought that's not a good thing, children. I mean, we put hobbles on the front, feet, hooves, legs, so that the horse could graze all night. Then you would ride it during the day, and the things were they were well fed. And so I walked down to the river because I thought, well, perhaps they may have gone down for a drink. And when I got to the river, I looked across, and there were two jet boats over there, hunters, and they were kind of hanging out on the shore. Gee, I hope that didn't sound too bad. Looking at my 5 horses. One a pack horse, that was Big Bert, and the rest were just all grays. Big Bert was blessed near red, close to, and my horses were all in the middle of the stream on a little tiny island, and I looked across at the jet boat hunters, and I had heard those boats pull in at some point in time. I didn't know when it was, but whatever. And they were all lined up watching to see how I would go about catching my horses before they ran away. And so there was a well-beaten game trail down to the river. And my horses, of course, they followed it. They're animals, and that's how they work their way through the bush and stuff like that. They don't break new trail. They follow a well-beaten path because usually animals are not meandering around. They're getting from one area of grazing to another area of grazing. Anyways, my group friends, I never hit my horses, hardly ever at all. Oh, if they stepped on my foot, I might give them an elbow in the side, or something like that. But no disrespect, None. Didn't believe in it. And So I said, Jerry, and Jerry was, there's Jerry, Jadan, Bucky, another one, I can't hardly remember his name, and Big Bert. I said, come here, children. And I stood there. And when I spoke, well, the horses, as soon as I stepped out on the bank was about 10 or 12 feet from the river level. And jet boat guys across the way all standing there just staring. And when I spoke, I said, come here. And Big Jerry, he led off. And every single one of my horses, my boys' horses, our horses, just started walking over to me. With hobbles on, they kind of crow hop a little bit in the front end, and either that or they walk very, very short steps. And I just stood at the top of the bank, and each horse stopped for me to give him a pet. It's better than a punch, guarantee you. Especially if you don't like walking, as I do not like walking. And every one of my horses would stop for a pet and then proceed back to the tent where they were supposed to be waiting for me to saddle, boys and I. And everyone stopped and then carried on. And I waited till the last one had gotten into the bush on the trail, headed back to where we were, had our outfitters' tents all set up. And then I looked across the river at the jet boat hunters. I kind of gave them a little wave. They kind of gave me a pretty big wave. And then I headed away from them. And I thought, you know, technology is a wonderful thing, but you get a whole lot more out of kindness and quietness, not tearing the river up with a 427 or something like that engine in a jet boat with no exhaust. And I'm telling you, there was something in my heart that I know God taught me to reverence in some ways, but definitely care for animals. People who can't care for themselves, couldn't care for themselves, didn't know how, didn't know they could. And about 2 days later, my horses and my cousin Gilbert's horses, I think there were maybe, well, I'm not sure. Well, there was a swack of them anyways, doesn't matter. And when we got up that morning, all the horses were going. And I don't know how in the world it worked out. I don't think we weren't on that. It was not the same hunt. We didn't cross a river. In fact, it was in on the Wilmore Wilderness. And the jet boats were in on the Brazos. Anyways, when we got up and Gilbert, my cousin, he is, well, you have no idea how good a man, how good a family. He and his lady Shirley, best people you would ever hope to meet, best, absolute. And so our horses were gone, and Gilbert, I always wore chaps, even to bed when I slept alone, and Well, it's not apt to change in the near future, unfortunately. And Gilbert, he said, well, let's go get the stupid horses. He said, I'm pretty sure they're headed back to the trucks. And I said, well, I'm not walking back. Well, he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'll tell you. I feed my horses, so I don't have to walk. And Gilbert and I walked about 7 miles. And the chaps I had on one knee, well, one knee had been hooped pretty hard. 3 surgeries by then I had on my right knee. And, well, my chaps and my blue jeans, I hope you know I had blue jeans on, listen, children, and it wore a hole in the top of my kneecap, not the bone, whatever it is, a little whatever, but wore the hide right off. And by the time we got to where the horses were, I said, I'm not walking back all that way. Must have been 5, 6, 7 miles. It wasn't a short walk. And I'm pretty sure I carried my rifle because I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure that we both didn't. And we caught up to the horses because, when they're hobbled, they're restricted movement. I mean, they must have gotten started the night before after we went to bed, and they thought they'd just break their way to freedom. And I didn't think they had any reason to do that, gee. And well, we caught up to them, and it was that rotten little Bucky that I rode. And Gilbert says, well, we have a long walk ahead of us going. I said, I'm not walking, I'm getting on a horse. He said, how are you gonna do that? And I said, well, you just watch. I said, that's no trouble. So I took 2 hobbles off, 2 horses. And one was, of course, off Bucky because I was going to ride that little jerk. And so I put his hobbles around his neck, and I put I think Big Jerry's. I think I put Big Jerry's hobbles, and I tied them to the hobble going around the neck. A hobble is a wonderfully soft lamb sheepskin lined system strap, large strap, like two inches tall, wraps around just above the hooves, and it limits how far the horse can step. And so my cousin Gilbert, he was watching pretty close, and I said, aren't you going to ride one of your horses back? He said, no, I'm not. That man was a cowboy, but he was not stupid. He knew that his horses weren't quite not well trained. He trained them, but perhaps not quite as easy to get along with as mine. And because no heavy hand, children. And not saying that Gilbert did either, but not saying squat. But Gilbert didn't want to get on a horse without a bridle, lead reins, or something. Anyways, I took Bucky over to the side of the road because I don't jump up on horses very much. I get off horses better than most people could ever imagine, and it's not often by intention. And I told Bucky, I said, I'm going to ride you. And I said, be nice. And that gentle voice of mine, I'm not working on that, but it's too late. My cousin, he led one of his horses all the way back to camp. I'm telling you, perhaps 7 miles. I don't know. Who cares? I have to be so careful what I say because people, they don't believe what I say. I'm telling you. Simple, they don't. And I sat on Little Buck, and actually his full name was Bucky, because that's what he was like. And he never put me off his back. I cannot remember that little twit bucking me off. Isn't that shocking? Anyways, so I don't know what morality can you get out of that? Well, if you can ride a horse instead of running a jet boat, it'll take you longer to get to where you're going. But you may see a whole lot of game and nature and everything else on the ride. Not in the jet boat, children. No. Okay, listen. This is the last one I'm doing tonight. No matter what I think of. So, hey, Christmas. You're going to live till you die. Enjoy yourself, children. I like what Solomon said to his son, Ecclesiastes. Right at the tail end, he said to his son, listen, eat, drink, and be merry. And remember, you're going to meet the Lord. I'm paraphrasing. Children, eat, drink, and be merry. But remember, you're going to live till you die. I think you're going to meet the Lord. It's my own opinion. You can have yours, I'll have mine. God bless you. Eh? God bless you. Something that most people don't understand. Animals have feelings too. Yep. God bless you.